Recorded Books presents an unabridged recording of Mrs. Pollifax and the Golden Triangle by Dorothy Gilman, narrated by Barbara Rosenblatt. This book is copyrighted 1988 by Dorothy Gilman Butters. This recording is copyrighted 1993 by Recorded Books. Mrs. Pollifax and her beloved husband Cyrus are off to the Far East for pleasure. No more life-threatening danger for Emily Pollifax, thank you very much. Her mind is made up. She's leaving for Bangkok. But then the doorbell rings. And now, Mrs. Pollifax and the Golden Triangle.
The village of Chiang San in northern Thailand lies along the Mekong River, near the apex of the Golden Triangle, where Laos, Burma, and Thailand meet. Its main street is shadowed by palms and by a long line of thatched roofs under which shops have proliferated, and where the public commerce of the village takes place. There are guest houses where more private transactions take place, and a restaurant where one can lunch and gaze across the broad, calm Mekong, watch the occasional long-tailed boat motor up or down the river, and observe the low line of trees and yellow sand on the opposite Laotian shore. There are also 2 Wats for tourists to visit, if interested in the history of the area: the Wat Pasak and the Wat Pratat Chom Kito, which dates back to the 10th century, when Chiang San was the site of a very ancient kingdom. In one of the thatch-roofed guest houses, on a certain afternoon in October, a man stood ransacking the desk files of an American farang who lay curled up on a nearby low couch. If the resident farang saw the intruder, he gave no indication of it. His wide-open eyes were unfocused and their pupils dilated. The expression on his face intent on an interior world of fantasies and delusions. As the intruder found and read certain papers in the file, he grunted, giving sidelong glances at the man on the couch, and then he very carefully replaced the papers. Only one of them captured his attention to the end. It held an address that he copied in pencil on a slip of crumpled paper, forming the letters with care. Walking noiselessly across the room, he helped himself to a pen, an envelope, a handful of Thai stamps, and a sheet of writing paper before he left the house, closing the door quietly behind him. Presently, seated comfortably under a tree by the river, he copied out the address on the long white envelope. It read, Mr. James T. Carstairs, Post Office Box 4023, Baltimore, Maryland, USA. Nibbling thoughtfully at the tip of the pen, he began to write his message on the sheet of paper. When he had finished, it was a long message, he took out a pad of ink, rubbed his thumb across it, and added his fingerprint to the note, which he signed in block letters, Ruamsak. With the letter stamped and sealed, he held it for a moment in his hand, as if testing its weight. But actually he was weighing the arduous path that he was about to take. To post a letter to the United States in Chiang San would be dangerous, inviting comment and attention, which meant that he would have to drive to Mas Sai, or even as far as Chiang Rai, to post it. And then he would have to frequently check the receiving address as well. He sighed as he reflected on how very inconvenient all this was going to be for a busy man. But his sigh was followed by a shrug. He had already learned what kind of money was being paid for information, and he had asked himself why others should be paid for what he knew. He would insist on being paid in gold, and to propitiate the peace spirits, he would give a little money to the monks and take a garland of flowers to his house shrine, Prapuam. It was decided. It would be done. Tucking the letter into his belt, He rose and set out for Massai to mail his letter to a distant Baltimore. It would be postmarked October 17th, and he thought the information he was sending would please the Americans very much and assure him of a reply.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.